Chapter 8 in your textbook mentions a list of 5 major bases of power. They're generally thought of as legitimate, reward, coercive, referent, and expert. Okay, now, I'm going to just briefly go over these because there's some pretty good descriptions in your textbook. However, legitimate power is based on people's belief that proper authority has been granted and is acknowledged by the governed. The textbook points out that people wielding such power may wear uniforms or have titles that distinguish them from others. This form of power can be derived from culturally instilled beliefs, from organizational structures, or even designated by legitimate agency or process. Like an example of someone with legitimate power is Sheriff Jerry Demings of Orange County. He was duly elected. He wears a uniform. He's got a title. People respect that he is actually the legitimate, he wields legitimate power over them. Reward power is based on someone's ability to reward others, thus compelling that person or persons to comply. Notice this form of power doesn't really necessarily seem legitimate, except that people might voluntarily find themselves obligated in order to receive the benefit from such a person. So an example of someone wielding that kind of power might be Bill Gates. Okay. Coercive power is the opposite of reward power. Well, someone wielding reward power has something beneficial to offer a follower in order to gain compliance. Coercive power works on the principle of punishment. Do as I say, or you're going to reap the consequences. Pretty easy example of that might be Adolf Hitler. Okay. Referent power is considerably more difficult to acquire in that it's contingent on the degree to which others desire to identify or have a relationship with you. One who wields this power is liked, admired, or respected. Because of this, others feel comfortable putting their faith in that person. Like a recent example of this is the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. He's a handsome guy. He's well spoken. He's well read. Very educated. People just like him. You know, they put their faith in him that he's going to do the right thing. He steps up in the time of need, and people have no problem following him, right? Lastly, you've got expert power. It's easily defined as someone, by one's abilities in a specific field. Like Bill Nye, the science guy, everybody knows this guy knows everything about science. They trust him. And in any given situation pertaining to science, they're going to put their faith in him. He's going to be the one to wield the power, to make the decisions, to make the call. So now, one thing you want to remember, this always makes the test, 2 powers that have the greatest positive association with leading people is referent and expert. People apparently view these 2 forms of power as the most appealing. The reason being that referent power is based on people's perception of the leader, and the leader has a quality that compels them to follow, whereas an expert derives his or her power from the perception they know what to do in a given situation. So remember that for the final exam. Referent and expert, those are the 2 that you want to remember have the greatest positive association with leading people.